Have you ever had the sense that none of this is real? That life is some weird trip? How lost can you feel? Do you remember the time you could sense the freedom of life in a space so immense? If you felt sad, you simply cried. Happiness or fear, nothing denied. But we have collected some silly ideas, entrenched in our thoughts about what it all means. This prison of me, how I am or should be. We forgot it's a play, a dramatic comedy, but it's just pretense. You're still that innocence. You don't fit in a box. What a paradox. We just pretend we have forgotten who we are. In my self-created world, I am the #1 superstar. My pretentious castle has been built on the clouds, but it doesn't bring me safety. It can bring only more doubts, but I don't know how else to survive in this strange place. 'Cause I don't know who I am, and I don't know any other way. It can seem depressing, this meaningless life. It takes your ambitions, your goals and your drive. But truth is the freedom to be everything. Thought is the servant, but you are the king. It is a great relief to get the joke of it. There's nothing to achieve, 'cause this is it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Lovely to see you all. And yes, I decided to put on this extra open webinar on this theme, family dynamics over the holidays, because I think we all, whether we are with family over the holidays or even whether we're not with family over the holidays, I think this, either way, this time of the year can touch us in all kinds of ways, positive and so-called negative. Yeah. So let's start by just closing our eyes and feeling into this body. Just scanning this body, just noticing whatever is here. Noticing how this body is feeling right now. If there are any strong sensations or any more subtle sensations, any emotions, and whatever is here is absolutely welcome to be here. And whatever is here never means anything about who you are. No matter what uncomfortable or comfortable experience is happening right now, you are simply aware of it. Fully feeling it, and at the same time, completely untouched by it. This is the paradox of life. That who you are truly is always untouched, beyond it all, seeing, knowing, aware, always free, always whole, always at peace. And simultaneously, this human experience is whatever it is in this moment. The challenges, the ups and the downs, it's all fully experienced. There's no escape from fully experiencing whatever is here. But knowing that who you really are is that awareness of it all. It means that none of it actually means anything about who you are. And this brings so much spaciousness and freedom in our human experience as well. So as we come here together today, we have the intention to explore family dynamics over the holidays. So just taking a moment to feel into that theme for yourself and feel what gets touched for you. Considering perhaps the holidays and what it means for you this season. And your family situation. What gets touched or triggered for you. And take some deeper breaths. Just really breathing into this body, the feet on the ground, and the bum on the seat. And when you're ready, we can open our eyes. So this time of year can be a time when perhaps we would like to be with family. So it doesn't always have to be, perhaps not all of you are with family or feel that you need to be with family, maybe, but even wanting to be with family can be a touching time. And then if you are with family over this time, it can trigger all kinds of old mechanisms. You know, no matter how enlightened or free we think we are, when we spend some time with family, it no doubt will bring up these old stories. Or even if we have dealt with a lot of this stuff, it can even come up in our body in like subtle ways. I know for myself, you know, each time over the years that I was living in other countries, and then I'd go back, you know, I'd be in India, for example, and I'd be meditating and be all, you know, floating on in a peaceful way, and thinking I'm all fine. And then I'd go back to visit my family, and then all the old stuff that I thought I'd dealt with all would come rushing back in. So it's always such a wonderful, in a way, test or opportunity. I like to see it more as an opportunity to keep exploring and keep feeling into these triggers and these areas of ourselves that get revealed when we're with family. Because it's, you know, our family members are the ones that were around when our original personality was formed, right? So they get to reflect certain parts of ourselves that friends or other people that we're in contact with in our normal, like, daily lives, in our adult lives, that they don't necessarily know about us. or if perhaps you've been through some hard times with your family originally, maybe some old wounds and traumas, of course they also can get triggered, and it can be very challenging and painful, perhaps even frightening, and all kinds of protection mechanisms can come up. And then the question is how to navigate that, because at the same time most of the time we're drawn to be with family. There can be a lot of love, a lot of real connection, beauty, closeness, and maybe a sense of belonging that maybe we don't get anywhere else. And yet, there can be two sides to being with family. It's not always easy. In a way, you can see it like an intensive somehow, really an opportunity to meet those parts of yourself that you wouldn't normally be able to meet. But it's challenging, for sure. So I'd love to hear from you and how that plays out for you. If there's someone that would like to share or have a dialogue, you can just raise your hand. And if there's a question that you'd like me to respond to on the chat, you can just type a question. And I just want to say hello to all those who are watching on YouTube live or on the recording later on. So yeah, you're all very welcome to be here. Yeah, so if you have something you'd like to say, you can just raise your hand. Michael.
Hey,
Hi.
so, well, as you know, my family my parents live here now next to me. After I thought I was escaped from that in my 20s. And what I was noticing, like, how do I feel like most of the time is there's like a habit that, there's like kind of a suppression of, I don't even know if it's an emotion or just, life. And then there's like a general kind of disconnection in the dynamic. And once in a while, when there are moments where people can gather, there's like kind of a relief from that, and there's a feeling of intimacy, that comes a little bit. And then usually we go back to the normal disconnecting kind of thing. And I'm saying sometimes I'm just avoiding being there because I really don't like this feeling of disconnection. And at the same time, I feel like it kind of feels like a bit unnatural to bring in real intimacy, like it will kind of make everybody awkwardly vulnerable,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it would rock the boat somehow.
Yeah,
it's kind of comfortable to be in that disconnection way somehow, uncomfortably comfortable. But perhaps also everybody longs for more connection, and it just takes, a little, maybe a small shift. And even if it is uncomfortable, can also be worth it. It doesn't have to take a big step. Maybe it is just something small that isn't too threatening for everybody. Just a question or some small comment that brings more connection. And it's not even about them being more connected. It's about you feeling more connected. So instead of waiting for them to perhaps connect with you, how can you feel more connected to yourself, in fact?
I think like what happens is maybe because of that or other things as well, that it's easier for me to feel connected to myself when I'm alone. Feels natural and easy, and I think with the like others, of course, depends who the others, but I think it's always a bit there. It's just kind of maybe feeling like I don't know how to connect, to myself or to them. And if I connect to myself, then doesn't know how to bring it, into the dynamic, in a sense.
Yeah. You don't have to know how to bring it into the dynamic. That part can naturally follow by itself. But connecting to yourself, well, it's always about the body, right? It's always about feeling what's here, the breath, the sensations. What do I feel right now? And sometimes if we're caught up in some trigger or some dynamic that's going on, you kind of forget to even check in with this body. So sometimes we need to take a moment to go away from the situation and then come back in, maybe a moment in the bathroom or something, you just come back to the breath, come back to the body, and how do I feel actually? And if you can do it while you're with people, even better, of course, but sometimes we need to take that moment away. And then when you're with people in any moment, you can just remind yourself to, okay, hello, I'm here in this body, right? Then there's already connection. Here I am. You don't have to have an idea of how to now move into connection with people. Once you're connected more to yourself and more acknowledging consciously what you actually feel in that moment, something will naturally happen through that.
Yeah, I can feel it. It's like simple.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always more simple than we think.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sarah. Sarah?
Sarah.
Sarah. Hi.
Hi. Yes, what you were just describing is simple. Not necessarily easy,
No, not always.
because I think the thing that I am struggling with a lot at the moment is just, I feel get so easily triggered. I mean, I'm living with my mother anyway, so it's not just for the holidays.
Okay.
And so I'm aware that I'm, exquisitely triggered so easily, and to maintain any sense of self or mature self rather than the childish triggered self feels almost impossible. It's like this daily battle, and it gets quite exhausting. And so I think I struggle to make that simple concept easy. It feels even, that feels a bit of a challenge, if you see what I mean. So it's sort of coming from both sides in a way.
Yeah. I understand it's not always easy, especially when you're in the midst of being triggered. Yeah. I mean, in the midst of it, you're kind of blinded, right? Yeah. So then in the times that you're not in the midst of it, that's the time more to look at it.
I know. I think I just feel like I'm in this non-stop triggered state. It's rumbling. It's never resolved. So I think it's always, it's not even superficial. It's kind of like this cloud that I'm living in a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'm, even when I'm not directly in that triggering environment, I'm still somehow feeling a bit triggered, I suppose.
Perhaps it requires some more honesty with yourself as to what that little child in you really wants.
Yes.
Now, obviously that child, because the trigger is a trigger of, as you say, like a younger self, right? A child in you that feels unheard in some way, because she's coming again and again to shout and scream, there's something that she wants to say. So I feel maybe it's time to take her by the hand and ask her, give her some time alone, just you and her, and ask her what she wants to say, what she feels, what is she feeling is missing,
Yeah.
and maybe a conversation somehow between the adult and the child, in you.
Yeah.
So it's got nothing to do with your mom, actually.
Correct. Yes.
And then we introduce your mom after that, but first,
yes,
for you to really be the parent for your child.
Yeah.
And I remember an exercise I did years ago of writing as the child and then writing as the adult, and using the left hand or depending which, if you're right-handed, you use the left hand, and if you're left-handed, you use the right hand. So let's say if you're right-handed, use the left hand as the child, and then the right hand as the adult. You have a conversation. Writing can be wonderful, to really give that child a chance to express itself, first of all in words, but then also with the emotions. And maybe they don't make sense for the adult. Maybe the adult would like that child to be all, perfect in some way, but she's not. She shouts and screams or whatever, she throws tantrums and she's messy. And she needs to be allowed to express that mess, at least to be heard by the adult in you. And then, there's less pressure on the relationship with your mom. If you are taking care of your child yourself, first, then it can have a positive effect,
Yeah.
on the relationship with your mom. And of course, your mom may need to look at herself as well, but that's not your responsibility.
No, that's not my responsibility.
No,
No. Yeah, I
absolutely.
think, I've just, situations that have kind of knocked me off my center quite a lot, that I've become quite disconnected from everything you're talking about, that self-care for the, that younger parts. Yeah.
It really needs some time
Mm.
for that one. Maybe time to just cry or
Stomp my feet.
stomp your feet and throw a really strong tantrum like a child. Maybe you need to lie down on the ground and kick and scream, and these children, they need a chance to express themselves. And because sometimes, as adults, we're like, come on, pull yourself together.
Yeah.
You should be all under control and perfect, or spiritual as well. And it just suppresses the child, and she comes out, at times, especially when you're triggered with your family, Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Ruth.
Hello.
Hi, Ruth.
I'm in the dark. I'm perhaps in a special situation because I don't have an own family and I don't have an old family, but the Christmas time, the dark time of the year, and the appearing of the new light and all this magic and holy. In my childhood, I had very strong resonance to this holy time in a childish, childlike way, perhaps, but it resonated strongly. And still in my adult time, I cannot connect more with the nature process of this darkness and the winter light, which goes very deep in holes and touches the dead people. I don't want to talk more about it because there is another problem. I still have a brother, with whom I don't, already as a child, we didn't connect much because he is such a different character and has so different interests and longings. But now he and his family has a big family in opposite to me who has nothing. And this family, they click together, and especially in Christmas time. And this is pulling on me, and still I'm not free. And when I receive these letters of these people, and they still try to pull me in, only in this time, then they are not interested. But now I have to belong, and I have to fit in their boxes. And I mean, actually, it's quite laughable when I see it from the outside, but I react on it. I am still not free from this pulling. and I'm not clear about what's going on.
Yeah, I know. I mean, so when you say you're not free from it, do you mean it touches something in you?
Yeah, it touches. It brings up also the anger that they don't respect me. They want to put me in a certain place and behave in a certain way, like their fantasies are going on. So, and this brings up the anger from earlier time, and it's still there. I'm still angry with them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
So
then I'm angry with myself on money that I still react on them. Why I react?
yeah, why do you care?
Yeah, why do I care?
Why do you care?
I know that you asked this. Because there is a little doubt in me if it is okay that I separate from them. There is still a little, it's not really okay. In my normal consciousness, it's totally okay, because I know they have such another life from me, and it's just natural that we don't connect. Not only because
That's the adult logic, but what's
yeah,
the
it's true.
other part?
The other part is this longing for harmony, this longing for what's in the air, this love. Yeah, to even if it's very limited little human helpless gestures, but it's a kind of, oh, let's express our love, yeah, and feel a warmness and a heartfulness. And
So actually there's a longing to be part of that.
but not with these people.
Maybe it's possible with these people.
No,
No chance.
no chance. They don't connect to any feeling. They are very mind focused.
But you know, even people who are very mind focused, they still do feel. It may not be so obvious, but
Yeah.
it is there. And maybe they need a little help.
But why it has to be in this old connection? I mean, I look for places where I can connect it. Especially I go sometimes in churches where I don't know anybody, but I sing with the people, and I have a certain fluidum of same, not the same words, but the same longing of celebrating and feeling warmth together. So I prefer more to go in anonym places. But it's not so easy, because on Christmas, everybody is in his little family box. And I hear it also from you. And so I feel so alien, because for me, it doesn't work this way.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's not like that for everybody. You know, many people don't have families that they feel they want to spend time with. Yeah, I mean, you're not alone in that situation. I'm sure there are many others like that. But
Yeah.
still,
Okay.
so this is also why you can also choose your family. You know, it doesn't have to be your blood relations. can also choose the family that you feel family, like feel that warm-heartedness with. But I'm just saying, you know, with your brother and family, there may be an opportunity there for you to meet a part of yourself in a way, you know, to meet those triggers, to meet that anger.
I tried to do it for myself, to meet the anger. I write about it and I imagine how the child feels, but I cannot imagine to go to their places. There I would become a victim, like I was in earlier time.
Yeah.
Like they are the spider and I'm in their net and I'm glued to this, what they put on me. And yeah, I can only deal with it alone. Okay.
Yeah, no, I can understand. It's a big challenge, but it's possible that you are not that now. That you are not the victim, or you don't have to be the victim if you go into that situation. But only you know how it is. You know, I can just offer possibilities.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm not open to this suggestion to go there. Yeah.
Okay. Then it's about, you know, finding people that you do feel that warm-hearted with, more warm-heartedness with, and considering them family.
But why it has to be exactly at 24th, 25th, 5th December?
Doesn't have to be. Anytime. That's why I called this the holidays, because not everybody here celebrates Christmas. I certainly don't. So it doesn't have to be, you know, this particular time of year. And a couple of other people here have mentioned family in general. So it's not about those particular dates, but it does often feel that there's more pressure to create a sense of family on those days of Christmas, especially if you grew up considering those days very important and family days. Then maybe you feel even more pressure, like you should have a good family situation on those days.
You know, now I tell a funny story about myself. I go with a train to places where I like to walk. And there in the train, I get feeling for the people, and mostly I feel so much compassion for them who look sad, lonely, separated, you know, and I feel like I can have like sisters, and brothers. And perhaps it's funny, but this is nourishing me. I'm a kind of neurotic, I know, but this works for me.
So you feel a connection in the loneliness, in the pain.
Yeah, in the pain.
There's a mutual compassion for feeling alien together.
Yeah, true.
Not belonging and not belonging.
Yeah, belonging and not belonging. And there I feel my heart very wide and embracing.
Yeah.
I don't want to judge it. It's nice that you just mirror it as okay, because I tend to judge it. You are not able to have real connections. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, there are so many people out there that are feeling very lonely, and it's highlighted even more so in this time of year.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, like there's pressure from society, from family, from TV, or wherever, and from all angles. It's like
Yeah.
this happy family time,
Yeah.
and it's of course not like that for many, many people. Yeah.
Oh, thank you that you mirror this.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ruth. I mean, it's a bit like, birthdays or something. Birthday is supposed to be, happy, happy, and it's not always, Or I remember many times on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve supposed to be like the best party of the year, the best night, right? And I remember so many times, as a young person looking for a party to be at midnight, in the best place with the best people, and so often being in some terrible, messy, unfortunate situation on the way to, or one time I was in the queue to get into a great party at midnight. Yeah, there's always a kind of sense of anticlimax with these kind of hyped up times of the year, and a lot of pressure to be having the greatest time. But yeah, it's just another day, another moment. Thank you, Ruth. So I'm also happy to, if anyone wants to speak about family dynamics in general, doesn't have to be just about the holiday time. Jessica.
Hi.
Hi.
Um, yeah, I would love to share something. I notice a lot of times, also during holidays, but a lot of times it's with when I'm around a lot of people, for example, in a group or something, then there is something in me that wants to express, so wants to show itself. but I also feel a very big holding back or something. Something that goes back in its shell or something. Like it needs to protect himself or. And a lot of times it's when I'm around, yeah, in group settings or something. I don't, it's almost like I don't dare to fully be myself or something. Or to fully express, yeah, something like that. And yeah,
Mm.
I would love to be free of that holding back.
Yeah, I can understand it makes it more challenging to socialize
Mhm.
with that one. Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, to try to be free from it, obviously you have an idea that there's some problem there, there's something wrong, that you should be able to be more interactive perhaps, or more expressive. And maybe that there's a little child there that just wants to hide, or is a bit scared, or feels threatened in some way. And we have to always start with honoring that child. Otherwise, you know, you're just going to bulldoze over that one in this trying to be free from it. Yeah, so, you know, I can really relate to that, because I've, for so long, I always felt like a very, you know, very shy, and in social situations, really it was exactly as you expressed, you know, was very, couldn't express myself. And
Mhm.
and at a certain point, I instead of fighting and struggling with that and forcing myself to express, I just said to my little child here, this little girl, it's okay, it's all right, I can just be shy, I can just stay in my little bubble, it's all right, and I'm just going to feel how I feel.
Mm.
And as soon as I took the pressure off myself, you know, that I don't have to be any different, that I can just feel and not express, or express if I feel to in the moment, if it comes, but otherwise no pressure. But there was something that relaxed with that. Somehow the child then felt heard and acknowledged, accepted,
Mm.
you know, and that there's something very healing in that, you know, when it's just okay to be like that, you know. And
Yeah.
and then there's a natural evolution that can happen after that. When the child feels accepted, then, oh, well, actually, then there's more possibility to just express when it comes spontaneously.
So it's more with softness
Yeah,
you approach it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Because I
beautiful.
always notice it gets hard also here in this area. It
Yeah.
gets like tied up.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're kind of, there's a fight going on.
Yeah.
Come on, I should, yeah. And so when we're just like, oh no, it's all right, it's okay. Yeah. Then there's a relaxation, like, oh, at the end of the fight, I can just be as I am. It's all right. Yeah. And there's something, yeah, when there's no more fight, there's a relaxation, there's less pressure. You know, even if, okay, you don't fit into certain boxes, certain ideas of the adults that you're with, at least this one in you is coming to more rest.
Yeah.
It's like there's more loyalty to the child that is here, to how you're really feeling.
Mm.
rather than kind of overrunning in order to be as you think you should be.
Yeah. So I should check also the relationship I have with this child.
Yeah.
How that works in me.
Yeah, yeah. Can be that the adult in you is playing out some old stuff, maybe from your parents or other authority figures, being somehow harsh with the child.
Mm.
And so in honoring how the child feels, you're doing that kind of reparenting thing, you know, you're unconditionally loving this child, or in other words, unconditionally loving whatever is here. And the adult is another word for your true nature, as life itself, that awareness that is unconditionally welcoming and including whatever is here. So if there's a feeling to just be quiet or just to hide or go more in the background in a social situation, so be it.
Mm.
That's what's happening here.
Yeah. So I was judging myself, actually.
Yeah, that's okay. You know, that's also included and welcome, but it's not true. You know, whatever that judgment says, it doesn't mean it's true that you should be different. Like those judgmental thoughts can go on, you know, but they have no reality. You know, they don't really connect to the reality of what's here. And if you feel into the sensations that go along with those judging thoughts, you might feel that there's a painfulness or some harshness.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I feel just also scared or something to be so like how do you say vulnerable, I think.
Mm. Yeah.
So there's so much resistance against that, but because it feels also very natural to me to be so vulnerable, and then yeah, there's this battle going on.
Yeah. Well, you know, those thoughts, they want to protect you, right? So it's also, you know, it's not like they're the enemy. They have a good intention. They want to protect because, you know, they feel, oh, maybe it's not so safe to be so vulnerable in this social situation. So come on, we better be someone, do something, right? So that's the fight. It's for protection. So just understanding that also can bring some relaxation, because it's not the enemy. It's like, it's another child, actually.
Oh,
Right? It's another one that's like, yeah, it's scary here. Come on, let's do something. Right?
there's a whole group of child.
Oh, many children here. It's a whole playground. Yeah, so understanding all these children, you know, inside ourselves, that they all are trying their best to be who they are and help in some way, help us survive in the world. So as the adult, or as our true nature, it's what we do is we just kind of welcome this one, and we welcome that one, and we welcome this one, you know.
Mm.
Oh, you're here. Oh, nice. Yeah, and you also. Oh, great. But none of them are in charge. And that's the key, you know, that none of them are the boss. None of them are the ultimate reality. They're all little children coming up in you. And you are that awareness of them all that embraces all of them. So none of them mean anything about you. You know, if there's judging, right? Or if there's, you know, I should be this, I should be that. Yeah, okay, that one's here. It doesn't mean that you are judging. It doesn't mean that you should be beyond that now because you're more spiritual, or, you know, that's another child like trying to be spiritual. Or if there's the one that, you know, is a bit scared, then, you know, that doesn't mean that you are scared. That's just something arising in you.
The seeing of it already is enough.
Yeah, absolutely. No need to do anything. Because any kind of trying to do or fix any of these children is another child.
Mm.
And it's often a child that gets, you know, somehow we believe that that's the one that we need to follow, but it's actually a child dressed up as a kind of more spiritual looking adult, you know, but it's not a real adult. It's another one that's just trying to help, trying to survive in the world. Yeah, so actually what, you know, the work you could say is about including all these children as they come up, and they keep coming up in different forms. You know, and the more you, let's say you embrace one, so then another one will come up with some new outfit, some new hat, and a new role, you know, but it's the same one, but just different clothes on. You know? So we just like, yeah, okay, we embrace that also.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that gives more insights of something. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So perhaps we come to the end of our time, yeah. Well, I want to thank you all for joining me here today on this special holiday edition. And the next open webinar will be on the 5th of February. So we have a bit of a break until the next one. And that's the title is What is Awakening? And I will be holding a weekend online intensive on the 14th and 15th of January. So that's before that. And all the details are on my website, but the title for that weekend is called Living Your Longing. So you're welcome to join me for that. And also I want to thank you all for whoever made donations for this webinar. I really appreciate all of that, and it all helps. So thank you, and see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.